Thousands of young people have just graduated college.
Yes, and we're going to talk to the author of a book that every college grad should read, and parents who have children who are about to graduate from college, how to prepare for the harsh reality of the working world. You get into the real world, people.
Chapter 1, go back to school.
Good morning, welcome back. It's 7:47. There's good news if you are getting a college degree. U.S. companies are expected to hire 14% more college graduates than just a year ago. Wow. But what are some of the harsh realities young people should know before getting into the real world, as they call it? A local author, Alexandra Levit, has written a book called They Don't Teach Corporate in College. And she joins us with some tips for young people heading out for that new job. Thank you so much, Alexandra, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Tamara. It's great to be here.
Now, you know a lot of parents are going to perk up on this because how many times have you heard from a parent, you're getting ready to go in the real world. You got your own responsibilities, and they don't teach that in college. They teach you how to do the job, but not how to work and maneuver in that corporate world.
That's absolutely true. I graduated from Northwestern University here in Chicago.
Ooh, Northwestern.
about 8 years ago, and I had always been one of those high-achieving students that had worked really hard and thought that I could succeed at my own pace. And when I got into the work world, it was a rude awakening because I suddenly realized that working hard wasn't enough and that building relationships was in fact the most important thing.
Well, you've got some tips for college grads and parents who are watching. The first one is don't have a sense of entitlement. Ha-ha.
Yes, I work with a lot of companies now, and HR managers, the most common thing that they tell me now is that kids are coming out expecting to get ahead right away. And what you have to remember is you have to be a can-do, enthusiastic employee that's willing to do the tasks, sometimes even if they're considered grunt work, because you will eventually get ahead. But you have to be humble and remember that your colleagues have more experience than you, and you have to have respect for that.
And you also say don't freak if you have the boss from hell. Well, you know, what do you do then?
Okay, you know, it's tough. Some bosses can be egomaniacs, some bosses are micromanagers, and no matter what you do, you have to do your part to establish a proactive relationship with your boss. And this means sometimes having a direct sit-down and addressing the problem and determining what you can do to improve the relationship. A lot of times bosses will perceive this as very mature and you can fix the problem.
And that's a great tip because recent studies says that people most commonly leave their jobs because of conflict with the supervisor.
Yes, and that's true. And a lot of times people don't expect that they can actually improve the situation and make it better. A lot of times people just say, oh, well, my boss is a jerk, so I'm just going to have to leave. And sometimes you do have to leave. After all, if it's an abusive situation, you don't want your job to ruin your self-esteem.
But the bottom line is try to make it work because this is your job, this is what you want to do.
Sure.
Now, you also say, now we've heard this our entire lives, don't run with the wrong crowd, but how does that apply at work?
Okay, well, sometimes when you get out into a new job, the tendency is to sit down and make friends with people right away. But in the beginning, you don't know where people's allegiances lie. And you don't want to get in with a crowd that may be on the wrong side of the office politics.
Right, and you're just trying to be friendly, but you got to be careful because, as you said, there's politics going on.
Exactly, and you don't want to trust people blindly either because you don't know, again, who's doing what at that point.
Well, you've got a lot of tips in the book, and if you want more information, again, the book is called They Don't Teach Corporate in College, a 20-something's guide to the business world, a great graduation gift, or just lay it on your kid's bed and just casually walk by. I don't know how that got there. Thank you, Alexandra.
Thanks, Tamara. It's great to be here.
Well, let's get a look at our forecast. Mark is outside hanging on the plaza. What's up, my friend?